Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the PL-300 exam preparation series where we are exploring the third learning path, visualize and analyze the data. In this video, we are going to explore the topic use grouping, binning and clustering, which is part of the section identify patterns and trends. Grouping, binning and clustering are techniques that we are going to explore in a moment, but we should know that these are the techniques that create extra columns in our data. So if we talk about our categorical columns, we can create groups. If we talk about our numerical columns, we can create bins. And then in certain scenarios where we are analyzing data, we can create clusters using Power BI. So let's go to the Power BI environment and see how we can do the grouping, binning and clustering. So let's start with the grouping. So whatever categorical column you have in your data, you can create groups on that data. So let's use the product brand. So I am inside the products table and in the product brand column in the front of the product brand, I have these three dots. So once I click on this, then there is this option of new group. So let me just click on this new group option. So it is going to open a new window which says groups. So here you can actually give a name to the groups. Then the field obviously is the one which we have selected. So this is the column product brand. So I can give a name to this group. Then there is a group type which is associated. Then the values which are part of the product brand column. So these are the ungrouped values. So based on these ungrouped values, I can create groups. So now let's see how we can do it. So let me just stick with the name that is already there. So let me just pick all the group brands, product brands that start with the alphabet A. So I can select by pressing Control. So I have these 6 brands which start with the alphabet A, and once I have selected all of this, then I can just click on the word group and you see there is a group that has been created. So if I double click here, I can just give it a name. So let me just give it a name, group A. Similarly, I can have another group. Let me just make another group for all the brands which start with B. So I think there are a lot of brands. So let me just choose an alphabet where there are less values. So I think we have just 4 values for this E. So let me just pick these 4. So now I can just add another group based on these, and you can see that I can just rename this as group E. So similarly, you can create as many groups of as many values as you want, and if you want to ungroup a group, then you can just click on the group and then you can just ungroup it. Also, there is an option that you can see here which says include other groups. So if you want all the other elements to be included in the other group, then all the elements which are not part of A and E can be included in the other group. So let me just create this other group as well. So it says that it contains all the ungrouped values. So let me just now click on OK. So now what you see that in the table that we have, the products table, there is a new column that has been created, and this icon here it represents that this is a grouped column. So let me just bring this column on the canvas. So I have just pulled this product group onto the canvas, and you can see that it has just the 3 values. So it is just a column that has been created in your data. So grouping is important if you want to actually create small groups based on any condition that you have. But we have already seen this thing once we were in the Power Query editor, and you have the provision to create these groups in the Power Query editor as well. And it is always recommended that instead of creating these groups in the DAX, you should always prefer to do this in the Power Query editor. Similarly, you can do the grouping on the data on a visual as well. So I have created this very simple visual where I have my total cost by sales region. So if I just go and select a couple of the bars here, and then if I do a right click here, I see another option which is called group data. So let me just click on this group data. So what this actually will do is that it will also create a group inside my data. So here you can see that the two regions, Canada South and Canada West, have been grouped into a new column, which is the sales region group. So this is another way. So, and you can just go and see that in the table this group has been created. So this is another way of grouping on the visual if you like. So this option you can use on the visual as well. Just like grouping is for the categorical columns, we have binning, which is for the numerical columns. So the process of creating the groups is the same, but the name is changed from groups to bins. So let's see on a numerical fields how we can create the bin. So let's go for the transaction data table where we have a column quantity. So I'm going to again go and click on the three dots, then I'm going to click on the new group, and this is going to open the window of the groups. So we have already seen this for a categorical column, but here now you can see that we have another terminology, which is the bin. So bin is basically the split of your quantity column into different number of bins. So either you can give the size of the bin or you can give the number of bins. So the binning is done based on the minimum and maximum value, which the Power BI has already computed. So the minimum value for this column is 1 and the maximum value is 6. So now I need to just select the size of the bin and then give the bin size. So if I have select the bin number size of the bin, then I need to give the bin size. So here it says that binning splits numeric or date time data into equally sized groups. So I have to enter a bin size. So let's say if I enter 3 here, then it is going to divide all the data between 1 and 6 into 3 equal sized bins. So this is one way. The other way is that I can specify the number of bins directly. So I can specify the number of bins that, okay, these are the bins that I want. So let's say I say I need 3 bins, then it is going to, based on the value, minimum and maximum value, it is going to compute the bin size. So either way you can create bins here. So let's now create the bins by selecting OK. So here you can see that a new column has been created, which is the quantity bins, which I specified for my bins. So let's have a look at this column in the data view. So if in the data view, if we have a look at the quantity bins column, so here it basically it gives the number based on the bin. So if the quantity is 3, we have the value 2.66. And if the quantity changes, so let's say if the quantity is different from 3, some other value, then you can see that based on the quantity. So I would have to find out. So here, if the quantity is 2, then the bin has the label 1. So if I just pull this into the canvas, this quantity bins, so you can see that the 3 bins that it has given values are 1, 2.67 and 4.33. So it has given the values and basically then created bins based on these values. So this is how you can group the data for the numerical columns, and it is called as binning. The last concept that we are going to discuss is the concept of clustering. So the concept of clustering is best understood in a scatter plot. So here I have made a scatter plot where I have the total cost and total quantity by product name. So here on the x-axis, I have put total cost. On the y-axis, I have put total quantity. And here I have plotted all the products in my data set. So once you have this kind of a scatter plot, and then you need to just go and click on these 3 dots, and you are going to find an option which says automatically find clusters. So I'm going to click on this automatically find clusters option. So here it is asking for a name and a description, and then here there's an option which says the number of clusters. So either I can go ahead and use the auto option, or I can give the number of clusters myself. So if I give the option automatically, then the Power BI will automatically compute the number of clusters based upon the different values in the scatter plot. So let me just give it a value first. So let me just give it a value of 5, and let me just click on OK. So after a few seconds, it comes up with this kind of a figure where you can see that there is a new column that has been created, and we have 5 cluster values here which have been given the name cluster 1, cluster 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the colors you can see. So basically Power BI using some sort of a clustering algorithm, and you can see that it has created clusters based on some kind of a division based on the value of total quantity and total cost. So this is another very useful way of looking at your data. But again, you can see that for this thing, it has created a new column, which is the product name clusters, and it has been created inside the products table. So you are going to, every time this grouping, binning or clustering would be done, it is going to create a new column in your table, whatever table you have actually used. So these are some of the techniques that are useful in data analysis. Once you are trying to get something out of your data, or you are trying to build a story about your data. So these are some of the techniques that can be really helpful and can help you to get more insights from your data. So that's all for this particular video, and I'll catch up with you in the next one.